So now, as a continuation of the previous video, now we are going to see monostable multivibrator using the 555 timer IC. So just as a recap, we are going to see that there are 8-pin IC is a IC 555 timer, and we have two comparators, upper comparator and the lower comparator, or we call that as a generally comparator 1, which is above, and this is comparator 2, which is below, and which is connected to an SR flip-flop. So S is a set condition, R is a reset condition. So as the name indicates, if it is set, the output of the flip-flop is going to be 1. If it is reset, the output of the flip-flop is going to be 0. And through that, it is going to trigger a power amplifier, so which is going to give an amplified output. So now as I told you, we are going to see a monostable multivibrator. The other name of a monostable multivibrator is a one-shot multivibrator. Why it is called? Because it is also called as a quasi-stable multivibrator. So all this name it has developed because for a certain time it is going to stay on the stable state, and then it is going to go back to the uh, unstable state. Okay, so the stable state, as long as it stays, it is called as a one shot. Okay, so we will see how it operates with this 555 timer. So we need to provide an input signal for this 555 timer IC for an monostable multivibrator. So by giving an input trigger pulse to this pin number 2 of the 555 timer, we are going to give a triggering input to the um, monostable multivibrator. So here, when you provide a negative pulse input, so it will timer will oscillate, and the internal comparator 1 will detect this input, and it will set the flip-flop value. So the output will be from low state to high state. So what happens is, during this condition, the discharge transistor will be put to off. So this will create a short circuit for the external timing capacitor, which is C1. So the same capacitor, resistor R1, R2, the same combination will be there even for a monostable also. So I'll show you the circuit diagram. So this is the circuit diagram. So this is the capacitor C1, R1 and R2, which I told you. Okay. So now what happens is it is going to short circuit. So this action will make the capacitor to charge up towards R1. Okay, so it will charge up towards R1. So it will go up to the voltage level of 2 by 3 VCC, and then the comparator will output will become high. So the comparator which is going high will make the flip-flop to reset, so it will turn on the transistor, and again it will start discharging through the capacitor C through the pin 7. So this causes the output to change its state from low to high, awaiting for another trigger pulse. So when this will happen is only when a negative pulse reaches the comparator, or whenever only the negative pulse is reaching the input side of the 555 timer, it is going to go from low to high and high to low. So unless and until it will stay in that stable state itself. So that is only when you are giving your trigger pulse, it will make the output to change its state. Otherwise, it is going to stay in the stable state. So this is a very big difference between an unstable multivibrator and the monostable multivibrator. Monostable is going to have one stable state, whereas unstable multivibrator is not going to have any stable state. So similarly, the time period equation will be given with respect to the capacitor R1 and C1. So it is given by 1.1 into R1 into C1. So this is the time constant equation for the monostable multivibrator, where resistor R is measured in terms of ohms and capacitor is measured in terms of farad, and the time period in terms of seconds. So this is the circuit connection, And this is the trigger pulse I told you. So the negative going trigger pulse. So this is only going to make the capacitor to go to a charge up of 2 by 3 VCC and come down to the charge of 1 by 3 VCC. And that is going to develop a waveform for the monostable multivibrator at the output pin number 3 for a 555 timer. So this time period is only calculated as 1.1 R1, sorry, R1 into C1. Okay, so this is the output of a monostable multivibrator. This is the capacitor charging and discharging, and this is the triggering input which we provide. Okay, thank you.